Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to start our new lesson number 6, Animals Classification, and we will cover all these points through the video lecture. Introduction of lesson, history of animals classification, traditional method of animals classification, and criteria for animals classification. In our surroundings, we see variety of animals around us. Some are terrestrial while some are aquatic. Some animals crawl on land while some swim in water, whereas some fly in the sky. Some animals have scales on skin, whereas some have feathers or hairs. In this way, we can see huge variety in animals too. According to recent study, estimated number of animal species on the earth is approximately 7 millions. It is impossible to study each and every animal individually. However, if we make groups and subgroups of animals depending upon the similarities and differences, then it becomes very easy to study such vast variety of animals. Let's see the history of animals classification. A Greek philosopher, Aristotle, was the first to perform animals classification. This classification proposed by him is called as artificial method of classification. He classified animals based on the criteria like body size, habit, and habitats. Beside Aristotle, the artificial method of classification was also followed by Theophrastus, Pliny, John Ray, and Linnaeus. Later on, because of development in science and technology, the references were changed, and thereby the criteria of animal classification too. Then the natural system of classification brought into the practice, which was based on the criteria like body organization, types of cells, chromosomes, and biochemical properties. By the time the system of classification based on evolution was also brought into the practice. This method was followed by Dobzhansky and Mayer. Recently, the method of classification has proposed by Carl Woese. Let's see the benefits of animals classification one by one. Number one, we know that there are millions of species of animals. So it is not possible to study all the animals in one lifetime. So study of animals become convenient because of animals classification. Next, study of few animals from a group helps us to understand about that entire animal group. It gives idea about animal evolution. Animals can be easily identified with great accuracy. It helps to understand the relationship of animals with other living organisms. It helps to understand the habitat of each animal and its exact role in the nature. It helps to understand various adaptations shown by animals. So, these all are the benefits of animal classification. The next point is traditional method of animals classification. In traditional method of animals classification, kingdom Animalia has been divided into two groups, non-chordates and chordates. Let's study the characters of chordates first. In initial period of embryonic development, notochord is present. Dear students, this notochord is a rod-like structure which support our body, and by the time after development it is transformed into the backbone, which is a vertebral column. So, the first character is body is supported by rod-like notochord. Number second, the major cord of nerve fibers is called as nerve cord. In this embryo, you can see a nerve cord which is made up of neurons, and by the time it is transformed into the brain and spinal cord. After complete development of embryo. So the second character is nerve cord is present on dorsal side of body, which is single and hollow. In embryonic condition, pharyngeal gill slits are present for respiration, which disappear, and thus lungs start performing respiration. So the third character is pharyngeal gill slits or lungs are present for respiration. Dear students, ventral side means the front side, while dorsal is the back side of every animal. Fourth character is heart is present on ventral side of the body. Let's discuss some characters of non-chordates too. Number 1. Body is not supported by rod-like notochord. Nerve cord, if present, it is on ventral side, which is solid and paired. Pharyngeal gill slits are absent. Heart, if present, it is present on dorsal side. Let's see how animal kingdom is classified into subkingdoms, different phylums and subphylums, and then classes. Main kingdom Animalia is divided into its two subkingdoms, non-chordates and chordates. These subkingdoms, that is non-chordate, is further classified into total 10 phylums. Dear students, these 10 phylums you should learn in proper sequence. So, at the initial point, you need to cram these phylums, you need to mug up these things, and that is also in sequence. So, I am just trying a trick by which you can mug up all these phylums. So let's understand all those names. There is a very simple sentence and that is also in Marathi or Konkani. That sentence is प्रोटीन वाली पुरी निदाने प्लेटमध्ये अशी आणली अर्धी मोडली इचारून हेमाला. Here different 10 words in this sentence reveals different names of phylums of subkingdom non-chordata. So here from protein wali we can remember protozoa, puri means porifera, निदाने means nidaria, प्लेट मध्ये means platyhelminthes, अशी means ascalminthes, आणली annelida, अर्धी arthropoda, मोडली mollusca, इचारून echinodermata, हेमाला hemichordata. So here from likewise you can mug up all these names easily, and second subkingdom chordates is classified into one phylum Chordata, which is further classified into three subphylums Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. This Vertebrata subphylum has divided into 6 different classes as Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Let's see the criteria for new system of animals classification. Dear students, actually this point is omitted from your syllabus, but you should learn it to understand remaining concepts of this lesson. If we skip this, then remaining part will go bouncer on us. So let's understand it. First criteria is grades of organization, that is body organization. We know that cell is a basic unit of every living organism. Cell organized to form tissues, tissue organized to form organs, and then organs organized to form organ system. Likewise, our body is made of. Unicellular organisms are made up of only single cell. This single cell is enough to perform all the functions of body, and that organisms referred as protoplasmic grade of organization. For example, amoeba, paramecium and euglena. That is all the animals from phylum Protozoa. Multicellular organisms are categorized into 4 different grades. Let's see one by one. Cellular grade organization. In some organisms, body is made up of with few cells. It means cells do not organized to form tissues, and that organisms are called cellular grade organization. All these cells are undifferentiated, means perform same functions. For example, animals from phylum Porifera, which includes sponges. Next grade is cell tissue grade organization. In some animals, cells organized to form tissues. With the help of it, all the functions of body are performed. Such animals show cell tissue grade organization. For example, animals from phylum Cnidaria, and the best example is jellyfish. Tissue organ grade organization. In this type of organization, tissues are organized to form some organs. However, complete organ system is not formed. It means organs do not organize to form organ system. Flatworms from phylum Platyhelminthes shows tissue organ grade organization. For example, planaria. Next is organ system grade organization. Remaining all the animals shows organ system grade of organization, in which different organs organized to form organ system. For example, crab, frog and human beings, etc. Next criteria of animal classification is body symmetry. In imaginary sense, if the body of any animal is cut through imaginary axis of body, then it may or may not produce two equal halves. Based on this property, there are different types of animal bodies. Let's see one by one. Number 1, asymmetrical body. If in the imaginary sense there is no any imaginary axis of body through which we can get two equal halves. For example, amoeba, paramecium and some sponges. Second is radial symmetry. In the imaginary sense, through imaginary axis of body, by any plane we can get two equal halves of body, which is called as radial symmetry. For example, starfish, in which through 5 different planes we can get two equal halves of its body. Number 3, bilateral symmetry. In the imaginary sense, through only one imaginary axis of body, we can get two equal halves of body. For example, insects, fishes, frog, birds, human, etc. Third is germ layers. In multicellular organisms, germ layers are formed during initial period of their embryonic development, and from those germ layers of embryo, further tissues and organs are formed. The embryo of some animals has only two germ layers. They are endoderm and ectoderm, and that animals are referred as diploblastic. For example, all the animals from phylum Cnidaria. In most of all remaining animals, embryo is made up of three germ layers. They are ectoderm, endoderm and beside it mesoderm, and thus they are called triploblastic. Next criteria is body cavity. Cavity between the body and internal organs is called body cavity or coelom. In case of multicellular animals, during initial period of their embryonic development, body cavity is formed either from mesoderm or from gut. Such type of body cavity is present in animals of phylum Annelida and all phyla coming after Annelida. Such animals are called as eucoelomate. It means animals with true body cavity. Animals from phylum Porifera, Cnidaria and Platyhelminthes are called acoelomate because of absence of body cavity. Animals from phylum Aschelminthes are called pseudocoelomate because of false body cavity. And the last criteria of animal classification is body segmentation. If the body of animal is divided into small similar units, then such body is called as segmented body and each small unit is called as segment. For example, earthworm from phylum Annelida.